Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, and welcome back to Oba's Trending Gist. Today, we are diving deep into the swirling currents of Nigerian politics, specifically the 2027 presidential election and the enigmatic figure of Peter Obi. Recent report from Daily Independent suggests the Obidient Movement is firm on Peter Obi running under the Labour Party ticket, but a recent interview on Arise News with Igbawua, a prominent voice in the political landscape, has thrown a fascinating new twist into this narrative. He made some rather striking claims about Peter Obi's involvement in a coalition, raising questions about party loyalty, strategic alliances, and the true voice of Obidient Movement. Is Peter Obi truly committed to Labour Party, or is it a larger, more complex political game at play? Let us watch the clip and then break it all down. Sit back and take a watch.
Okay, Honorable Igbawua, I just want to come back to, the membership status of some of your front runners, if I may call it that, for the presidential ticket within the party. Today's Daily Independent reports that the Obidient Movement have declared that there's no uncertainty or confusion about Peter Obi's position, that he will run on the ticket of the Labour Party for 2027. I'd just like to confirm, are you expecting him to port, or are you aware that his movement, because of course the attraction around Peter Obi is the Obidient Movement, what is the status of your talks with Peter Obi? Are you expecting him to also pick up his membership as a matter of now? As you've said, the deadline is now.
Yes, of course. Peter Obi has been participating in the process of the coalition right from the beginning until now. So sometimes when members of Obidient make statements, we doubt whether they are consulting him. The issue is that the vital and critical processes that we are going through, Peter Obi is part of it. He is part of, the leadership that constituted the reconstituted National Working Committee and NEC. And if you have no keen interest in a political party and you are moving your principal persons into their leadership, then I don't know what else will show us that. He is not from outside. It's a different thing when you say whether Jonathan is coming. That's a different way. He's not been part of the coalition. But Peter Obi has been part of the coalition from the beginning. And I have seen him say in audio and video messages that he's a member of the party, and that he is there not just for the purpose of getting a ticket for the presidency. He is there to salvage Nigeria. That is what he has said himself. So I would rather believe Peter Obi himself, who is at meetings with us, than believe those who were part of his 2023 ambition. They may be thinking that maybe they are better off identifying as the obedience, but I can assure you that obedience themselves are not static.
Don't you need them? Don't you need their obedience in 2027?
We definitely need them. And several of them are in the leadership of the party of the 80s as I'm speaking to you. But I should perhaps remind you that the Labour Party has two factions. I will not be surprised if some of the obedience have chosen a different faction, but for those who are in the faction in which Peter Obi is, are certainly those who are for the ADC. And we are working with them. Where the national chairman of the party, of the Labour Party, is with us at meetings every time we meet, along with Peter Obi. So I don't want to believe those who are speaking possibly without due consultations.
Okay.
Wow, that was quite the revelation. Arise News certainly pushed for answers, and Igbawua delivered a perspective that many might find surprising. Let's dissect what Igbawua had to say. First, the interviewer Vimbai pointed to a Daily Independent report stating that the Obidient Movement confirmed Peter Obi's intention to run for president on the Labour Party ticket in 2027. She specifically asked Igbawua about Peter Obi's membership status and the possibility of him porting or switching parties. Igbawua's response was direct and, for many, quite unexpected. He stated unequivocally that Peter Obi has been participating in the process of the coalition right from the beginning until now. He presented visual evidence of Peter Obi at meetings alongside other prominent political figures, seemingly confirming his active role in this broader alliance. A crucial point Igbawua emphasized was the distinction between Peter Obi's personal involvement and the statements made by the Obedients. He openly questioned whether the Obedients member consult with Peter Obi before making their pronouncements, suggesting a potential disconnect between the movement's public declaration and Obi's actual strategic engagements. He went further to claim that Peter Obi is part of the leadership that constituted the reconstituted National Working Committee and neck of a party, implying deep integration into its structures. Igbawua stressed that Peter Obi is not an outsider and has publicly stated both in audio and visual messages and video messages that he is a committed member of the party, that is the ADC, not just seeking a ticket but aiming to salvage Nigeria. Finally, Igbawua dropped a significant piece of information. The Labour Party itself has two factions. He then revealed that the national chairman of the Labour Party is actively involved in their coalition meetings alongside Peter Obi, and that Peter Obi's faction is aligned with the ADC. This suggests a complex political dance where key Labour Party figures, including Obi, are forging alliance beyond the traditional party lines, possibly with the African Democratic Congress, ADC. This interview really opens up a can of worms and adds layers of complexity to Peter Obi's political future. Here is my critical take. The Obidient Movement versus Peter Obi's reality. That is number one. Igbawa's assertion that he doubts the Obedience Movement consult Peter Obi before making statement is highly significant. It suggests that while movement is a powerful grassroots force, it might not always be perfectly aligned with Peter Obi's strategic decisions. This raises questions about who truly speaks for Peter Obi and whether the movement's fervently loyalty could ironically complicate his political maneuvering if it's not in lockstep with his calculated moves. Is the Obedient Movement a vehicle Peter Obi steers, or has it grown into an independent entity with its own momentum? Secondly, factionalism in Labour Party and the ADC alliance. The revelation about two Labour Party factions and the national chairman's participation in a coalition with Peter Obi and the ADC is a major development. If Peter Obi's faction, along with the Labour Party national chairman, is indeed working closely with the ADC, this isn't just about Peter Obi running for president. It is about a strategic realignment of political forces. This could be a sophisticated measure or a grand alliance aimed at consolidating power for 2027. However, it also begs the question, how will this play out with the other Labour Party factions, and what it means for the unity and identity of the Labour Party as a whole? The next is strategic ambiguity or clear intent. Igbawua presents Peter Obi as a committed member who has been part of this coalition from the beginning, aiming to salvage Nigeria, not just get a ticket. While this paints a picture of long-term commitment to a broader vision, the lack of explicit, direct confirmation from Peter Obi himself regarding his party affiliation for 2027 and his coalition partner could lead to voter confusion. Is this strategic ambiguity designed to keep opponents guessing, or could it alienate some of his core obedient supporters who might feel a strong loyalty to the Labour Party brand alone? Implication for 2027. If this alliance between a significant faction of the Labour Party, Peter Obi and the ADC solidifies, it could create a formidable third force in Nigerian politics. It suggests a more organized and expensive approach than just relying on one organic obedient wave. However, the success of such an alliance will depend on resolving internal factional disputes and clearly communicating its vision to the electorate. The political landscape is clearly being redrawn, and these alliances will be crucial to watch. So, what we are seeing here is a far more intricate political game than just a simple presidential bid. Igbawa's statement suggests Peter Obi is deeply embedded in a coalition involving the ADC alongside the faction of the Labour Party and its national chairman. This challenges the straightforward narrative of him running solely on the Labour Party ticket, as suggested by some parts of the Obidient Movement. The road to 2027 is proving to be a winding one, full of unexpected alliances and internal party dynamics. We'll definitely keep an eye on how these developments unfold. What are your thoughts on Igbawa's statement? Do you think Peter Obi is making the right strategic move? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to Obas Trending Gist for more in-depth political analysis. Until next time, stay informed.